everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the access right in Odoo 17 purchase module. So before moving on to the access right of Odoo 17 purchase module, we need to know the user types. So in a business, we know there are different users such as the internal users, portal users and public users. So internal users are the people in the organization, and even we know that an organization will have different levels such as the apex level. The users in the apex level will have all the right, which means they can just access to all departments, all sections, and whatever that is happening in a business that can be controlled by the users in the apex level. So these users can be the project manager, the CEO, or any other user who has the complete authority of the business. And we have another user who are just an employee in a business. So in such cases, that employee will not be having all the access. Their access to the business will be limited, and they can be only concentrated with certain sections or certain department. So let's see how can we manage the internal users in Odoo 17 purchase module. You can see that the administrator is the person in the apex level who will be having the control over the purchase app, and he can just manage with the configuration settings, like all the features in the configuration settings with the orders, invoicing, products and logistics. And he can also just manage with the vendor price list, product categories and all. And here you can see the created vendor price list and product categories. Later on, he can also manage with the reporting, and he can also manage with the products creations and all. And he can also manage the RFQs, purchase orders, vendors and everything. So here you would be able to find everything. Like he can just make the request for quotations, or he can just make additions in that, or he can just delete everything. Likewise, he can just manage. So as you just move on to the reporting also, here you can see the created orders as well as the measures also can be found over here, like the build quantities or the quantities order. And he can also change in the representations of the reportings like bar chart, pie chart, line chart and everything. Apart from this, we can understand that internal users on the other hand can be thought of an employee also. So if you want to manage your internal user and employee, so let's move on to the users. And in the users, let's consider the user, that is mark demo. And mark demo, you can see that here we have just set the user type as internal user itself, and we will be considering the access right of the purchase as user. Now let's log out from administrator and log in as demo. So here you can just log in as demo because that is the user. And let's move on to the purchase module. And in the purchase module, you can see that there will be limitation for this user. This user cannot access to the configuration settings and reporting of the purchase module. Rather, the user can just review the orders, and he can just create the vendors and can create the orders, as well as he can also create product. Now let's see how can he create a new product. So here we can just create a new product, which is book, let's provide the name of the book as the product name, and later on you can just set it as storable product, and we can just provide the price of the book, and you can also set the cost of the book. Later on you can save this, and let's also upload the image of the book. So under the downloads here, you would be able to find the book, and you can just set the image of the product. Later on you can save this, and now let's purchase this book. So let's move on to the request for quotations, and here I'm going to just create a quotation for the vendor, from the vendor for mark demo as a buyer. And here you can choose the product, which is book, for just 10 quantities, and here you can just save this and confirm. So let's confirm that. Later on we can just receive the item, and here we can just click on validate, and we have just received the item in the desktop. The second user type is a portal user. So portal users are typically the suppliers or the customers who has limited access, and these users can have the relevant informations to them, as well as they can also view the previous history of their orders, and can also view the customers' bills or invoices generated to them. Now here we know Odoo also provides different user types such as portal user. So portal users is a user, typically a customer with limited access, and they can usually only see information relevant to them such as orders, histories or invoices. So let's set the user type as portal user. So as we just choose a user type as portal, this user will no longer have access to the purchase. Instead, they can review their orders and status. And now let's log out from the administrator and log in as the user. So let's move on to the portal user, and under the portal user, as you just move on here, you would be able to find we have just logged in to the user Joel Wells, and he will have his account like he don't have any quotations to review and all, where he can just go with his orders and he can review his purchase orders and all, and that shows every detail such as the things that he have purchased with all other details. Last but not least, the user type is public. In this user type, the user is completely an anonymous website visitor who can browse publicly and access the website of Odoo. And the final user is the user type with public, and here you can see that we can set the user as type as public, and later on we can just log out from the administrator and let's log in as the public user. And we know a public user is an anonymous website visitor who can browse the publicly accessible information on the Odoo website, where he won't be having an account in the website, and but he can just view the website, like he can just view the shops and he can find the products that are available in the website with different views, and he can just search for the product. And if you want to buy that product, as he is an anonymous customer, he can just log into the Odoo website and purchase the items. In essence, internal users are the users that deals with the day-to-day operations in the Odoo instance, and these users typically have the accounts to manage with the Odoo instance, so that these users can log in into the Odoo instance using a username and password. So I hope this video clarifies how to use the user types and access rights in Odoo 17 purchase module. So as always, stay awesome and thank you for watching the video.